In this video, I'm going to show you how to change your oil on your Chevy Trailblazer. This should cover all models from 2002 to 2009 and the sister cars including the GMC Envoy. And this is on the inline 6 to 4.2 liter engine. Now there was some changes. For example, some models came with an access hatch underneath, but this covers the cars that do not have the access hatch. And this is all right now on Nexus Auto. So, what do you need to get this job done? Well, jack stands. Only 2 jack stands is really needed. Or something to lift the car up like ramps. If you're really nimble enough and you're kind of skinny, I'm kind of a bigger guy, but if you're really skinny, you can actually kind of get underneath the car as well. It kind of sits a little high up, so you may not need that. But to make it easier on yourself, at least a jack and jack stands. Some engine oil, an oil filter. Funnel will be good. I mean, you don't need to, but it certainly helps from preventing any mess or anything like that. Oil filter wrench. Hopefully you could take it off by hand, and if it was done correctly the last time, most times you could take it right back off by hand, but if not, it's good to have a oil filter wrench of any type of any sort around. A ratchet and a 13mm socket. There you go. There you go. Or a 13mm wrench. So then just make sure the car is lifted and it's supported on jack stands. You don't have to lift it too high, just enough. The car's pretty high as it is, but just enough to get to the plate underneath there. Okay, so once you're underneath the car, then you got to remove the 4 bolts here. 1, 2, go there, and then 3 and 4. That's with a 13mm socket, or you can use a 13mm wrench, whatever works for you. Just go on there. Oops. And that should give you an idea of the size. I'm obviously not going to record doing all 4. It's pretty straightforward. Just pull all the bolts out, but that's about the length you'll be looking at. Go ahead now and just take off your oil filter cap. Now that's just open up to allow some air to flow through and allow it to flow a little better. But I normally just open it up, just leave it like that. That way it doesn't seal off and allows a little oil to flow out a little better when you open up at the bottom, but also prevents any contaminants, especially if you're working outside or anything, from getting inside. So that's all you need right there. So as you can see, we've got the cover off. Cover is right there. And there is your oil drain plug, also using a 13mm. And there's your oil filter. So I normally go after the plug first, the oil drain plug, just to get that off and get most of the oil drained out. So I've positioned my oil drain pan right there. Now you want to make sure you're positioning this in the right way, because when you open this up, the oil's just going to come straight down, right? So you want to make sure you cover that off and make sure that as it runs off, sometimes it may drip a bit. So you want it pretty much dead center. It's going to come straight down, which is nice. Some cars, you open it up and the drain plug's to the side, so it kind of comes out at an angle. This is just going to be straight down. So we're just going to take our 13mm, put that on there. So it's really on there. There we go. Now also watch when you open this, because it's full of oil. 1, wear gloves, it will help with your hands. Of course, you will get it all in your hands. But 2, because this is just fluid inside here, as you turn the threads, as you get to the end, the force of the fluid is going to want to push it out. It may actually force this out of your hand and into the drain pan, and you don't want to do that, because then you have to try and fish it out of there. So make sure your thing is positioned. And you just start turning. Normally I would turn like this, because then I can still get a grip on it and it'll lean out. But if I do that, then it's going to be harder for you guys to see, so I'm doing it this way here. Feel just at the end. Okay. See the fluid's getting ready to come out now. and we move it. There you go. That'll minimize mess. I mean, you could just pull right out and it doesn't really matter. But you want to try to avoid getting this stuff on your hand as best as possible, even if you're wearing gloves. You can see dripping out there. Now, really what you should be doing as well, you should be checking for the washer, which is on here. And you should be replacing it. You know, it doesn't always get replaced, but you should. Make sure it doesn't get stuck on there, though. And you can see it's on its tail end now. And as it poured out straight, now it's kind of curved off to the side a bit. So, I mean, you have a big drain pan. It shouldn't be an issue. I mean, you should just position it dead center. But in case you're wondering, that's what it looks like. As it starts trickling off, you can see even the wind starting to blow it a bit. It's not, it's almost completely done now. So when it gets to the point of about here, it's just kind of dripping out very little now. I mean, if you wait, it'll drip forever. So normally I'll just first take the drain plug, clean it up first. I just take a rag and clean it up. And then first I'll put that in and just thread it a little bit. Someone got mad at me once for saying tread. That's how you say it. You know, West Indian, that's how you say it. But, you know, someone got mad once. Anyways, and then I'll go in and just kind of give it a good clean. I do that because if you clean it while it's still dripping, as soon as you clean it, it's just going to continue to drip, right? So I go and I clean that now. Sure, using a clean cloth. And then I'll just go in by hand. I didn't even bother to check the foot-pounds. Normally with cars, trucks, anything, oil drain plugs are anywhere from 15 to 20 foot-pounds. I didn't check. I'll maybe put it in the description. But normally you just go until about hand tight, which is about there, and then just another small turn. Right? That's all you really need to do on drain plugs. You don't want to go too deep or too hard. Right? You just want to make sure they're secure. Now we're going to do the filter there. The hope always is that you'll be able to just go and take that up by hand. Unfortunately, especially if it's done at a shop previously or anything like that, that's not always possible. They tend to over tighten them. I mean, these should only ever be hand tight. And then, you know, with heat and wear and tear and everything, they may get a little tighter. But most times, if done correctly, you should be able to take off by hand. So I'm just going to take my tool here with an extension. I'm going to go up there. So we can spot first. There. So now oh, that's really on there. Alright, let's give it a little more. Go. So again, make sure you line up your drain pan directly underneath. You will get some spill. Oh, got some. There you go. Got a little bit of my arm, but that's okay. Let that run out. You can also try and go in from the side up here and try and reach around. Depends on how you want to go. Let that all drain out. Go with my cloth. There we go. go. Last bit of drain out there. I'm just going to turn the filter. Drain out whatever oil's inside. So while that drains out, now is a good time as any to do a comparison of your filters. Just make sure you have the right one. Make sure the size is the same. Make sure the outer seal of the ring, that all matches up here. Something like that. Just to make sure it all matches. You know, you just want to double check and make sure. Even with these, some of these filters, as you can see on this one here, on the filters, these can come off. Some of them can't come off as easy. Some can come off really easy. So you want to make sure that if you pull your old filter off, this has come off as well. And again, you just want to compare it size to size, thread to thread, make sure that they all match up and everything is good to go. Now you just want to take a little bit of fresh, clean oil on your finger. All right, and you're just going to put it around the seal here. Make sure it's all coated very well. Oops. Yeah, to make sure it doesn't do that. A little more awkward with one hand, normally just much easier with two, but you get the idea. Right? Make sure it's all nice and coated. So now that it's all finished draining out, we'll just take a rag and we're just going to clean up whatever's around. Okay. We're also going to go up to the filter. You probably should do that first, by the way. You saw me clean here first, but you don't want to clean on the frame first because you get all that dirt and stuff that'll go on here. Right? And you don't want to put that around your filter, so you should clean it first. I'm going to flip the rag around. But yeah, you should really clean the filter first. So we're going to go up here. 1 second. I'm just going to take our rag, go up there. Just clean around the actual element itself. Kind of hard to see, obviously my hand's blocking the direct shot, but hopefully you get an idea of what I'm doing there. Very clean up as best as possible. Get as much of the oil as you can, especially around, focusing around the outer ring there. Yeah, around the ring. You want to make sure you're getting that a lot as well. And then once done, you just grab your new filter and bring it around and start threading it on. And the idea is you want to go hand tight plus another quarter to 3/4 turn, depending on how strong you are. Basically that's hand tight now, so we're just going to go just another just about 3/4 turn there. That's good, and you shouldn't need to do any more than that. It should never be more than that. Alright, so now we just go ahead and take out our filler cap. I'll put a funnel in. Doesn't fit all the way in because of some of the components there, but it just helps with pouring. Now it does take anywhere from 6 to 7 liters / quarts, depending on how much has come out of the engine. So keep that in mind when you're buying your oil. Now aside from that, what I normally do is I'll pour in about 1 liter / quart, and then we check underneath to make sure there's no leaks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. You noticed, I don't know if you do see it, but I have got spilled some onto the engine. Not a big deal, but you want to clean it up. You don't want that to be there because when you start up the car after, it could, when it heats up, it could smoke a bit. And if you're not aware, that'll throw you off. You'll think, oh, what's going on? So I just cleaned that up very quickly. And now once that's done, we check underneath. And no leak from the drain plug. No leak from the filter. So we're good to go. So at this point, you'll go and start up the car. I filled it up. I went to just about 6.5 liters there. Start everything up. Let it run for not too long, about a minute or so. Once it's done running, then you go back, you check your oil level using your dipstick, which I'll show you in a second. And of course, you check underneath the car just again, make sure that there is no oil leaking out from either the oil filter or the drain plug itself. So make sure that's all clear. So we're just going to pull our dipstick out now. Clean it off. And back out. And then we just check the levels just to make sure they're good. And this is looking pretty spot on there. So now we just have to put back on that the protective cut panel underneath here. So all you do is line up your panel, and it wouldn't hurt to put some anti-seize on there as well, especially as they start rusting out. But you know, you grab your panel, just line it up. Oops. I'll line up the first bolt. Just thread it. And line up the second bolt. Thread that as well. That just holds it in place. And now that that's done, just a matter of tightening it up. I'll do one and show you. I'll do this one. Although I don't think it matters too much for this for a panel like this. I'm still going to do cross. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't really think you need to per se though. It's just a protective panel, but that's just what I'm going to do. And other than that, you're just pretty much going to hand tight plus a quarter turn. Sorry, I was ratcheting there. Hand tight plus a quarter turn in case you didn't hear it. So basically, going all the way. And tight, another quarter turn. And then you do the same for the other, all the ones. I'll do one more to show you. I'll do this one across here. Tight and third quarter turn, and then I do the same for the other ones. After that, you just drop your car and enjoy your fresh new engine oil. And the last thing you got to do is you got to reset this here. I don't have the car on right now. You don't need the car on, you just have to turn it to the on position. But I just want to show I've already changed the oil, but it still says engine oil life 50%. So what you do, I'm just going to turn it back off, is turn it to the on position. Press the accelerator 3 times. Slow, not too slow, but not too fast. And then turn the car off. That should reset it. So we're going to go on. 1, 2, 3. Turn the car off. And we turn it back on now. Oh, you just saw it there. Oil life 100%. Everything's all reset. And now, you're all done. Alright, and just a reminder, I don't know if you could tell, but I've now dumped the old oil in here. Do make sure you be environmentally friendly with this, right? If you're doing your own oil changes, great. Save yourself some time, save yourself some money. It's a great way to maintain your own car. But find somewhere that can dispose of these safely and environmentally sound. Don't go dumping the oil down the drain or down the sewers or anything like that. Don't throw it in the trash. Do the right thing with it. Just make sure you're handling it properly, because you got to protect what we can with the earth, right? And just my little message for you. Other than that, though, yeah, we're all done. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope this video has helped you out here today. Now let's go through some of the YouTube stuff, shall we?
Don't forget to like and subscribe if this video has helped you out. And if you want to see my future videos, I try and put out one at least once a week. Make sure to hit notifications as well, just so you can get those videos. On the flip side to that, if you didn't like the video for whatever reason and you do dislike it, not a problem. Feel free to leave it in the comments of why you disliked it, whether it be something I did wrong, whether it's something you didn't like in the video. By all means, just let me know so I can keep making the best content possible. It's kind of the whole point of it, so make sure to do that. Speaking of the comments, if you have any questions, concerns, anything you want to add on, anything you see you can do better, anything that maybe you add on and it actually is worse, whatever it is, feel free to leave it in the comments. Nothing wrong with that. I always try and answer whenever I can. It may not be the same day, next day, whatever, but I try and answer all comments. So make sure to leave that as well. Once again, I want to thank you very, very much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.